It is time once again to ask the age-old question: what is the best free idle game released in the year 2023 and also on Steam? Previously, in July of last year, I did a video just like this, and you guys enjoyed it, besides all the people that downvoted it for some reason. But it's one of the most popular videos on my channel lately. So a lot of time has passed since then. There's been new releases. I figured let's give it another shot and see if there is something even better that has been released. Let me explain the criteria here for a second. So in this video, I started a list of all the idle games that have released and are free since I last made this video, and I started tracking how well they are received by the public. I had to do a couple different searches on Steam to make sure I wasn't missing anything, and it's very possible, based on how people tagged their games, there were some that were missed. But here is how I decided to narrow it down to 5 for me to play, and then give you feedback, and at the end decide which one I think is the best free idle game released in 2023. So here on Steam, there's a couple different ways you can search. You can just go straight to the search bar and search idle or idler, which is one of the things I did. And then you can also just go to the store search, not enter anything, and look in the tags for idle or idler, and then read that list. Drop the price down to free, and then sort by date release. This gives us a list to go off of what has been released since July when I last made the video, and which ones are free. I did not include any demos, maybe we'll come back to those later. And how I decide the top 5 is based on how they are received so far. So the ones with the most positive reviews, with the most reviews total count, will go in the top 5. I will then play them and will decide if they are the best idle game of 2023. For me, there are some criteria that will help decide this. 1, is it free? Actually free? 2, is it actually idle? Meaning there are games that are suggested to be idle or tagged as idle, but they're not really idle games. You have to interact way too much, or they are just gotcha games, really. And 3, for me, which is one that you would think is obvious, offline progress. To me, that's what makes an idle game. And at most often, it just has to be, while you were offline, you collected this much so-and-so. Obviously, there's usually a cap, but it's a great feature to have. And then, of course, just how fun or interesting was it, what the progression is like, etc., etc. Now, in this journey, I did stumble upon some games that I don't think are idle games, but I did find some really cool games you can try out, and I will mention those at the end of the video as honorable mentions or games to check out that I found during this. So let's jump into the top 5 list and see how it goes. The time has come, the list has been made, and the games have been tested. I technically have 5 games I'm going to show you that are good idlers. I think maybe a total of 7 games I'll talk about in this video, some of them being honorable mentions at the end. But I have tested each of them. I have fit them into the criteria that I think makes a good idle game. And this version, I think, is actually better than the last one. Every single game that I played and ended up testing has something unique to offer and is worth playing, especially because they're all free. The first video I made in this series, it was really hit or miss, and there was some weirdness in there. I have some good games to show you. Let's just kind of get into it. So there was one game I crossed off my list and did not test at all, after I pulled it up and just really looked at the start of the Steam page, which usually I don't do if it's marked as idler. I'm gonna test it, but this Legion of Valkyrie on Steam just had anime waifus all over, and it didn't look like it was actually an idle game, but it made the list because it had over 400 reviews standing at very positive on Steam. I scrolled down in the reviews, and I'm not saying they're paying for reviews or anything, but all of the positive reviews just talked about the boobs and the waifus or some other weird stuff. And a lot of the negative reviews talked about how it wasn't an idler, they couldn't play it for very long, and there was a lot of AI art. And so I just crossed it right off the list, but you can search it up if you really want. The first game on the list is technically another honorable mention game, but it's just kind of funny. And although it's not an idle game, I thought it was worth showing you real quick. So let's show you the first one on the list. Welcome to the wonderful world of Where Jellyfish. As you can see, I have played Where Jellyfish a little bit here, but all it is you find the jellyfish and you click on them. Now, the really funny thing about this is every single jellyfish is a achievement. So if you are looking for a cute little game where you find jellyfish and you get an achievement for every single one, here's Where Jellyfish. There are 100 jellyfish, so that means you can get 100 achievements for finding all the jellyfish. And there is a DLC that adds 400 more jellyfish or something like that. I'm not sure if it has achievements for all extra 400, but there you go. Where Jellyfish. Now that we're done playing around, let's get into the next two games on the list, and we will be saving the best two, in my opinion, for last. So the next game is a game called Plant Therapy, and all of the games from here on out until the honorable mention will be true idle games and have different benefits. Let's learn about those. Plant Therapy is a game where you have an apartment and you buy plants to put in the apartment. We loaded up right on a night cycle, which I actually really like. All the cool plants glowing, and then plants put out currency, basically gems and different coins and stuff, and it converts over here into money. You buy new plants, new art. Love my little ghosty here. Watering can upgrade so I can water a bunch of plants at once. You have to buy food. Dang, I opened this up at just the right moment to show you just about everything. You do have a little robot cat vacuum here if you don't want to move your cursor over all the currency to grab it. And I actually do like this one. It has most of what you would want from an idle game. And they do have a setting where you can turn off the plants needing to be watered or fed. And you can kind of just hang out and build up some plants. Let's show you the shop here. So there's an art gallery, there's a vintage store, and then there's the plant store. You have all sorts of different pots you can put them in, different plants, and some of the plants, they grow after a certain amount of days by a maidenhair. And you can upgrade your apartment and move apartments. Your apartment gets bigger. I just barely unlocked this left side here, so that's why it's all empty. but you can grab the gloves here and you can move the plants over. So I can spread things out now. Let my little robo cat do some work. Here we can buy a Manhattan apartment for 1,500. I have not reached that yet, so I'm not sure if it opens up even more options. But the game has just about everything you would want. It has progression, it has achievements, it has, you know, different ways you can go about things. There is DLC to unlock even more apartments, which is totally fair. The first 2 apartments in the base game are free. And really, the only thing about this one that doesn't put it higher on my list is there is no offline progression. And it's just kind of a cozy, you know, hang out, buy some plants kind of game. But it's good, especially for free. It's good. Next on the list is a game called Idle Clans, and it actually made it on the list because of some of the other games that were just a little weird. It technically has mixed reviews, and I'm starting to see a couple reasons why, but it has a lot to offer. Let me show you why I think maybe it's mixed. This game is supposed to have offline progression, and there we go. I was offline for less than an hour, and I had mining going, so I earned a ton of copper ore. So previously, when I was testing, I tried to do multiple tasks at a time, and I've kind of discovered that is not possible, which is very interesting. I would say it makes sense, but I froze the game while I was trying to mine, fish, and smith all at the same time. I mean, they were different, you know, tabs, so I thought maybe, and there wasn't anything that said doing one at a time. I think the glaring issue with this game that a lot of people will run into is the monetization and how they do it. Having a free game that has certain microtransactions is also fine to most people, but there's a lot of things that are specifically locked behind paying, and there's also things that are locked behind watching ads. So getting a boost, you can watch an ad. Now, you don't have to get a boost, but I can see people might not like that. However, there are a lot of interesting features. There is a whole clan system, which I have not joined yet, a local market, and then there are player shops as well. So let's say if we search for wood, redwood log, we can see these people here selling it, which is very cool to me. Besides all your normal collecting and whatnot, you can plunder, and you have combat, just fighting a turkey off the bat. I don't have any arrows, so that's good news. And you do collect loot from your fights. I'm gonna take a quick look at some of the reviews for Idle Clans and see why it's mixed. All reviews, it is mixed with 570. Recent reviews are very positive with 79. Honestly, I don't mind it being a reimagining of Melvor Idle, especially since Melvor Idle is a reimagining of RuneScape. Okay, the issue I have with this game is how they decided to sell the premium membership. I wouldn't mind if it didn't lock away not 1 or 2 skills, but 3 skills that are heavily used in the game. Okay, see, that's kind of what I was saying is a lot of people don't have an issue with monetization. It's just how you go about it. I stopped playing before an hour because some skills were blocked. Yeah. Game and website are not accessible. 0 gameplay. Let's see. 3,000 hours, still not level 100 in all skills. Damn. Nice. Very boring text-based idler with minimal simple graphic. So I actually have Melvor Idol. I got it for free from Epic. I have not jumped into it yet. It's technically not on this list because it's not usually free, but I'll have to check that out and see how it compares. I think a lot of what people would say in the reviews is valid, but it is free. There is a lot to it. I did not play it enough to run into issues with the locked stats, but also it made me not really want to go further in it. So that's why it's a little lower on the list. But it does have a unique feel to it, and I wonder if the clans and the player shops and things like that are a good selling feature above some other ones. Let me know what you think. Now for the final two games, which I think for the most part, these are tied in my mind. Some of you may find one better than the other. I think it comes down to personal preference, but they both hit the mark for my criteria on an idle game. So let me show you Vacuum Warrior first. Okay, I know. At first glance, you're like, what the hell? But this game is a tried and true idle game. Has offline progression. It has automation in the way of buying robots, more and more robots down the line, stronger robots, everything. It has prestiges. It has statistics. It has multiple managers, locations. Like, there is so much to this game. You have your dust shop, which you trade in the dust you're vacuuming to level up everything you see here. You can sell your dust for cash, which you can then buy different vacuums for. You can get chests with gold coins, and I think chests are where most of their monetization comes in, but you do get some for free here and there. And as you can see, these silver coins are from prestiging, so you can buy them with coins or with cash. And it is very goofy, and really, in my opinion, the only downside is how your character and vacuum are attached to your mouse like this. Look at that. And now I can see, easy. All right, so my number one complaint is not really a complaint because I just shut it off. That's easy. There are daily rewards which get you the coins, so hypothetically absolutely everything in this game could be for free, but you can also buy tokens or buy an expert pack or enthusiast pack. This is going to open up the Steam window and you can buy some gold vacuum coins. Now, this game has so much to it. I know it's a vacuum game, but if you're looking for a idle game with a lot of progression and building up time after time to prestige and start over, it has all of that. And I noticed it is also listed as being on mobile, so maybe it's more of a mobile game to check out. But let me know what you think. I for free and an idle game, I think it hits all the marks. The last idle game on the list is Unnamed Space Idol, and there's really only one reason why it's not the best of best absolutely in my mind, and I'll explain that when we jump into it. So as you can see here, as I load up, it has resources received while I've been away. Offline progression, we love it. We love to see it in a idle game. And the only reason I would say this one isn't number one on the list and is more so tied with Vacuum Warrior to me is because of the complexity and just how intense it is. And then just what the gameplay itself is. I think this is a very good game and a lot of people will like it, but some people might think it's a little too intense. I have not even unlocked all of these up here, but your basic concept is you are this ship flying through space, fighting other ships and collecting resources to then level up your ship, whether it be the core parts of the ship, your damage and shields. You can also synthesize items to then get different modules. I just clicked that one and I didn't even know what I'm doing. There are gems that you can get, and I'm just going to alt click to merge all, and that'll make a better gem. So let's see here. This has max shields 1.775. This is 1775 compute speed. So these are basically the same. It's not too much better yet. And then there is prestiging as well. I've technically prestiged once, but I think I kind of did it wrong. And I assume the further I progress, the more these will unlock. And as you travel through space and you reach this red line that you'll barely see up here, you will fight a boss. So obviously, if you start dying to the boss and you can't upgrade anymore, that is when you would prestige. So let's see this fight here. Oh yeah, I'm more than golden on that one. Another thing that I like about this one is there is a non-idle aspect if you want. Clicking on this little space debris and some other things that pop up, but you can do it completely idle if you want. It has some nice little space music, space sounds, all of that. It has really good features and settings that make it easy to play. It's just all around pretty good, especially for free. I think in the end, whether you would prefer a game like Vacuum Warrior versus Unnamed Space Idol just comes down to aesthetics and what you really want to get out of it. They both have everything that I like to see in an idle game. Offline progression, and a good amount of it. Prestiging is a really good bonus. Just a lot of things to unlock and not anything weird. What a great list I have. All of these also have achievements, which for me is a extra bonus. And if you want to get 100 quick achievements, you can play the Jellyfish game. But let me know what you think, which one you think would be the best, which one speaks to you the most. And I took these all from games that were released in 2023 for free. So if there is a different idle game that doesn't fit that criteria you think I should check out, let me know. But now for the hidden gem, the bonus game that I want to show you, I stumbled upon with this journey. This is Urbo Dream 1, and it is a sort of prequel, I would say, to Urbo. This version is free and it contains the one location with the one set of buildings. And while it is not technically the kind of idler I was looking for, I started to enjoy this game right off the bat and played it for longer than I thought I would, especially when it wasn't what I was looking for. So if you've played 2048 or Suika game recently during that craze, it's similar in where you drop down buildings and there are different levels of buildings, and when you drop down a certain amount, they combine. Now this game, even being the free version, it also has achievements, which is really great to see. Love those achievements. You get different benefits, of course, for making bigger combos. Hard to think ahead but be fast, but also record all at the same time, you know? Sometimes though, I kind of like to just start a chain reaction that I'm not expecting. Okay, so there we go. We got a card with that combo right there. So the card will allow us to move a building, get a 2-level building, a 5-level building, or a 6-level building. There is also one that will allow you to switch places of 2 buildings. But for the fun of it, let's just get a 5 building. Those will combine. And that's it, but also that's great, and it can become really addictive. It has nice little pleasant music, which I might have to turn up for you. It has lovely scenery as well as the music, and you can technically complete the island, which I haven't done yet. I'm not sure how well I'm doing, but I haven't failed. I would assume failing is, or completing the island, either way, is when you block yourself out and can no longer place anything down or combine anything. But it wasn't really what I set out to find, but I'm glad I found it and I really enjoy it. So check it out, Urbo Dream 1. And there is a full release that has more buildings, more islands, everything like that. I think at the time of recording this, it's like $5 or something. So if you like this kind of gameplay, definitely might be worth checking out. Oh yeah, and I got a little level up 1 building here. So I could just go and level up my biggest building, make it, this one's now the biggest building I got. It's like a level 8 or whatever. So thank you all for taking the time to watch this video. I made another one of these because it was very popular on my channel, although it had a lot of downvotes for some reason, but no hate comments. So if you hate it, tell me why, and I will make it better next time. I can take it. The other thing is I did recently launch a Patreon, which will have gaming extras and horror Mondays. And the big thing is you can request what movies I should watch and give a write-up for, or what gaming challenges I should take on, and provide some content around that for the Patreon. Whether it be, hey, speedrun this game, or you should unlock this achievement, or I really want you to watch The Fly 2. That's all included in the Patreon. And this is the longest that I'll talk about it. Hopefully, maybe. But let me know what you thought about these games, which was your favorite, and please, as always, like and subscribe so I can make more of these videos.